we go again. Here we go again. Okay, so let's just say, for instance, that somebody gets like dealt with on TV, like live TV, for everybody to witness, right? And then all of a sudden, now the ICE facility in Texas, people get clapped at, and the cool part about it is that nobody from ICE gets hit. It's just detainees. How odd is that? If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at this.
As well. Thanks for being with us. And we know this situation is a bit unique because some of the people, the victims in this shooting, in this case, Don, were actually in police custody. So how does that impact the investigation, but also the police initial response here?
Well, I think what's going to happen is it's going to become an attack against law enforcement because of the writing on the inscriptions on the bullet casings tell a story already that should inform the investigation. Look, over the last decade or so, we've seen an increased amount of ambush attacks against law enforcement. Less than a week ago in York County, 3 officers were shot while they were trying to serve a domestic protection order, where the suspect lied in wait and then targeted and shot and killed the officers. You know, since 2016, ambush attacks on law enforcement have gone up 60%. So far this year, there have been 49 officers killed and from ambush attacks. And it continues to spiral out of control. I mean, if you want to put it into context, the last year we were in Afghanistan, we lost 11 military personnel versus what we're seeing now. So it's a pattern we're seeing developed targeting law enforcement. And I think a lot of it stems over the last couple of years from some of these no bail, defund, no prosecution policies where individuals are out on the street that should have been locked up and kept inside. And also, we have a mental health crisis out there where we don't have enough mental health support for individuals. So it's a tragic, commingled situation we're dealing with here. And I think the country as a whole has to get their hands wrapped around it.
A sentiment there. We heard from Pierre as well, Don. Let's dig into this a little bit, though. When we're hearing from law enforcement, right, there was this picture, and you just mentioned it. The FBI said that there's these writings on at least a shell casing is anti-ICE, is what it says. But then when you hear that they think that the shooter just sort of fired indiscriminately into the crowd, there's one witness that told our Maria Villarreal she thinks she heard as many as 20 gunshots. How do you piece that together?
Well, what people hear and what actually happens are often two different things. Mm-hmm. So they'll do their investigation, they'll look at the number of shell casings left behind, and they'll try to match it up with the rounds that hit the targets, whether the individuals or surrounding the area, to try to figure out how many rounds. And also, this could be an individual who couldn't see the target very well, was trying to target the law enforcement officers, and couldn't see exactly what he was looking at and just started firing indiscriminately, trying to hit anything, mistaking some of the detainees for law enforcement officers. The investigation will reveal all that, but for law enforcement in general, it's a new threat dynamic they have to be very careful of. And for these ICE facilities, they really have to look at their facility protection and their operational procedures to make sure that they're taking into account the threat posture that we have in this country right now, especially targeting the ICE law enforcement officers. I mean, what we're seeing in DC is a good step towards keeping people safe, but it's unsustainable. So broadly, law enforcement has to be on their toes and be much more operationally ready when it comes to operations like what ICE is doing.
Yeah. All right, Don Mahalik, your perspective is always so important. Thank you for being here with us today.
So, yeah, after watching that, I mean, this is just a little something that, you know, they try to cover up, of course. They're not going to tell you the whole truth. Of course not. All of these news people be lying like a mug unless you get that independent news who be uncovering stuff, all of the TikTokers and all of that stuff. And then look, so you try to call everybody conspiracy theorists when them TikTok dudes and all that stuff, they be uncovering stuff that the FBI don't be uncovering. So, you know, and it's hundreds of people, you know what I'm saying? And then they be breaking it down, slow motion, all of this stuff though. So you mean to tell me that at a station for the ICE agents, in Texas, where they have the most guns in the in the world, I think. You mean to tell me that only three detainees got shot? Oh, I'm sorry, got blapped, and then no ICE agent got touched? I'm so confused. Oh, yeah. And then it was convenient that they found those bullets and they had writing on them, just like how they had engravements on the bullets that when dude got blapped on national TV. All right. And then he disassembled his rifle on the roof, jumped down, then went to the woods or inside of some little area where they had a whole bunch of bushes and trees. And then he reassembled it and left it perfectly for the, and then he left the bullets. Yeah, that's how it could be. Oh, that's right. And then he texted his trans roommate and was talking some type of idiot stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. I'm not gonna try to like get into it real deep because you guys already done seen it and all that. But yeah, it's kind of convenient how all of that plays hand in hand with each other, right? Right. I just find it funny how it's all kind of almost like the same thing, though. And then they try to say that, oh, we got the guy who did the shooting and all of that stuff. And, do you really think? Well, we're not finna get into all of that, though. But I just find it odd. That now all of a sudden in Texas, like I said, ICE agents are getting blamped at, and then none of them get hit, but the people that they were detaining get hit, and then this idiot says, "Oh, they might have mistaken them for because the get the whoo." I swear they be playing like we are so dumb, like we can't really see with our own eyes what's really going on. But yeah, this thing is so crooked. And I'm not with nobody. Not a Democrat, Republican, Independent. All of them are crooked. Every single last one of them. But hey, this is what it is, right? This is what it is. But the larceny that they try to give us, the bull crap that they try to give us and try to make it seem like that we don't have our own two eyes and a smart enough brain to see that they're trying to play us. We do. There's a little thing where they have the news coverage all over different cities and states all over this country are saying the same thing, like line for line. And they play it. I'm going to play that for y'all. It's just, you'll see. It's like they all get the same script. You gotta start looking at these independent news people, man. I'm telling you, like Midas Touch and all of them stuff. Like, yeah. But I'm not finna shout out nobody else. It's crazy. But yeah, I got a couple of other things that I want to go over when it comes to this politics stuff, and we can talk about it. If not, it don't matter. Just watch the video. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute, POV. I'm Mr. Wade, your host. And I'm going to talk to you in a minute. Peace. Yep.
Only know one way.